All right, Raw Conversations with Chromez, and with me on the show today, I do have the Holstar.
Yeah.
Nice connecting with you.
What up? Good being here, man. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Have I ever had a radio interview with you before?
I
don't think so.
We've been in an interview where we were both there, but I don't think you were interviewing me.
It was somebody else.
Some time back, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the first one.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about your. This is an EP, right?
No, it's an album.
It's actually an album.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called Dreaming in High Definition.
Exactly.
And you've dropped EPs leading up to this.
Yeah, I dropped 2 EPs in 2014, another one in 2015. And then 2016, I dropped a few singles leading up to the album.
Okay.
This year, yeah.
So before we get into all of that, I just want to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far back?
As back as the 90s. As far back as the 90s.
As far back as the 90s.
Which is when your interest in hip hop got sparked, which was Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. Back in 93.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. I was 11 years old. My brother...
You just revealed your age.
Yeah. Somewhere there. Around that period. I was 11, I remember.
Yeah.
And my brother was in college.
Yeah.
And he brought the CD, and it was Doggy Style, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" I probably was too young to
even know what
was going on. I was probably too young to listen to it, but I listened to it regardless, and I was just amazed by the wordplay, especially like how people could put all these words together on the beats, and the storytelling was also quite intriguing, and from there, I think that's when I pretty much fell in love with hip hop. I grew up with it and sort of, but that was not my first encounter with rap though. I think my very first encounter with the rap and where I realized, okay, this is actually rap, was actually a Bobby Brown song.
Oh, for real?
Like Bobby Brown was rapping. I think it was that Ghostbusters soundtrack. Yeah, something like that. So that was when I encountered rap. But 90s, grew up with hip hop. I really liked West Coast hip hop, like the whole East West thing.
Yeah,
like I was a West Coast guy, man. I was deep into Tupac. But later on, I got into East Coast guys like Wu-Tang, Nas, and they're like Biggie.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's where it all started.
Okay. And then when did you get into it as you rapping?
As me rapping.
Yeah.
So in high school, we had variety shows, and basically we would get beats from one artist. Like there were instrumentals available, like from the singles, those promo singles, and then you'd get a rhyme from this artist for this bar, another rhyme from that one, and piece them all together. Yeah. And you'd come up with a rap. And so me and my friends were in a crew called the Z Crew, because I went to high school in SA. And so the Z Crew was just a bunch of Zambian guys.
Yeah, hence the name, isn't
exactly. And then, so yeah, man, most of the time, the funny thing that we would never win, we would come like second most of the time. Well, which was weird, but that's where the love for hip hop, the love for performing grew. Performing on stage in front of your friends and going crazy, like, wow, this could be something one day. But we never really thought about it that way.
Okay.
So that was 90s, and then I think there was a period where I stopped listening to rap, man. I got into R&B.
Really?
Yeah, like
how come? Did it get too vulgar for you or something like that?
No, not really. I think it was, discovering girls and stuff like that. So you're trying to impress girls with lyrics.
Yeah.
So not really the rap stuff, but R&B stuff. So Jodeci, New Edition and stuff like that. There was a phase where I was really into R&B. And then there was a phase where I just stopped with the music. Like I think I just concentrated on school or something. And other extra activities like drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was a basketball fan as well. I was really into basketball and stuff like that. I was like the youngest guy on the high school team. And then the first time I actually stepped into a recording studio was in 2004. It's a studio called Noise Lab. It was run by a guy called Ryan Tembo, also known as Dodi, also known, he's got so many names, I could go on.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a cool guy, man. He was part of the guys that actually started David Sling Studios, but he had his own studio as well.
Yeah.
Noise Lab. So I went there, met a guy called Kati there, recorded my first song. It was called Versatile. And man, what was I even talking about on that song? It was kind of random, but I was talking about HIV and AIDS and using condoms or something like that.
Okay.
I don't even know how I came up with
it's
it.
An interesting way to start.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Okay. But yeah, that was my first song, and I actually did like an EP. It had like 3 or 4, like 3 songs.
Yeah.
It was called the Versatile EP. It was, so all the songs were produced by this guy called Kati, who also used to be known as Pope.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the guy that was actually like my first producer. Me and him went on to open our own studio, and we called it The Zone.
The Zone.
Yeah. Okay. So the way the name The Zone came about is where my friend got his software and his music. He called it The Zone. So every time he would get these CDs with software and music, he would label them The Zone, because there was this guy that was known as The Zone. Yeah,
who used to supply
the software. Okay. And so that's how it's The Zone. Said, hey man, we'll call the studio The Zone as well. Okay, cool. The Zone. So that's how that went on. 2004, fast forward to 2006, I did my first full-length underground album. It was not commercial.
What was it called?
It was called Intellectual Property.
Okay.
Had like 10 tracks, featured a couple of my friends, like Architect, who was one of the first guys here in Zambia to actually inspire me to rap.
Okay.
Because this guy had an album like way back in 1999.
Wow.
Like on a cassette tape.
Whoa.
And this guy was he still is an amazing freestyler. Brilliant guy. So Architect was on it. This guy called Arma was on it. And Pope produced all the songs on that. So it was an underground thing, man. I think maybe we did like 100 copies of it. You know, you burn the CDs on your own, you label them, you package it. I had this guy called Mwelwa ML, who was the first DJ that I knew here in Zambia, who actually helped me distribute it to DJs. And I remember, I think one of the, not the first album, but the Versatile CD, I remember it being on one of the radio stations, on one of those shows like Keep It or Trash It, you know, one of those type of things.
Yeah.
I didn't even listen to the episode, but I know that situation.
So you don't know if they
I don't even know exactly. I don't know what happened, but I know it ended up on that. And then I remember the first time I heard my song on radio was this show called Hip Hop to Rock Your Block. It was hosted by a guy called DJ Drakes, who is, if you ask me, the guy that really brought Zambian hip-hop to the masses. Because at that point there were maybe 2 or 3 guys playing Zambian hip-hop on radio, but his show was strictly dedicated to like an hour of international hip-hop and I think another 2 hours of Zambian hip-hop, and this guy was doing it every Thursday for close to like 7 years or something. So that was pretty dope, and that was the first time I heard my song on radio. And you know, first time you hear a song and you're like, wow, this is actually real. And
this is what everyone is listening to at this particular time.
Radio and all of that. A couple of times did first interview with Drakes. We didn't have many I mean, the biggest artist that time must have been like Crisis. He had like a commercial album out. So I think
Officer in Charge.
His album was pretty widespread, and he was doing a few shows here and there with Diamond Chain and stuff like that. So that was quite inspirational. We didn't have too many hip hop shows going on then. We had gentleman called David Linyama that did promote a couple of shows, like at Olympic swimming pool. We had the Rap for a Millions that were happening those days, where Black Muntu would win, or these guys from the dark side would win, like not really a battle, but like it was like a performance. Like who can perform better type thing.
So it wasn't really about.
And if you really ask me, that was more about who can bring their crowd here, really. Because if your crowd makes the most noise for you, you're definitely going to win. So most of the times it was these guys from Kawata, I think, who would win. That's the dark side guys. So that's how that went down. So we didn't have much of that going on. When we did have shows, to be honest, the crowds were not that much. They were not that big. They were not very responsive to the music because they didn't know what this was going on. They didn't know what is this. This is like foreign to us or something, you know. So it was still growing, but we did have the talent. You could see the talent from back then. So that was 2006. I actually released 2 albums that year: Intellectual Property and Intellectual Property 2. And I mean, the sound quality was nothing to talk about.
Do you still have these copies of?
Yeah, I've got everything that I've ever done. Yeah, I'll hook you up.
You should.
So the sound quality was not on point at all, man. We were still like I remember, I think the first 2 albums, I actually recorded them with a PC mic.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. That's how crazy it was, man. We were like, you'd see a condenser mic, it was like seeing a unicorn, man.
Wow.
You know?
Back then.
Yeah, you know, so I remember even landing like a condenser mic from someone, but then I didn't realize that you needed phantom power for it. You needed a mixer, you know? So we were still trying to figure out how to, you know, like mix and master stuff. It was really a learning process from way back. But, I mean, guys like Crisis, he was like reading books and stuff. He was pretty good with mixing and mastering from way back. So you'd listen to his projects and then compare it with yours and be like, okay,
there's a difference.
This is where we need to go. Okay. So that's like 2006 heading into 2007. So 2007, I did a first joint collaboration project with Pope. So we called it the Holstar and Pope mixtape. So this is the first time you would hear guys like Alkanai, who I met through Pope. And then Alkanai introduced us to Dope G, because they were friends from the hood, from Charleston and Avondale and stuff. And they both introduced us to J-Rocks. Okay. And at that point, that's when I think we did a song. It must be on the Holstar and Pope mixtape or one of these like singles from a Zone mixtape. And Alkanai was like, "Oh, so what's the studio called?" And it's like, "Oh, the studio's called The Zone, man." So he's like, "Okay, cool." So in the song, he had a lyric where it was like, "Oh, you can't mess with the Zone fam." So that's how the whole Zone fam name
that's the way it came about.
That's how it came about. Alkanai is like, "So what's this studio called?" Like Zone fam. I mean Zone, the Zone.
Yeah.
And then he's like, there's a bar where he spat like, "You can't mess with the Zone fam." And that's how that name came about. We just started using it. You're shouting it. Like we're all solo artists, but you know, you shout it out on songs. Oh, the Zone fam, Slam Dunk Records or whatever. So that's how that came about. So fast forward to like 2008.
Before we get there though, Slam Dunk Records was formed in 2007.
No. Okay, like like operations wise, but the name came from way back. It was actually my brother's gig. He had a video library. He like ran it for a very short time, a couple of months, but he called his video library the Slam Dunk Records. Okay. So I just figured, hey bro, you're not using this name anymore. It's registered already. Can I like change it in my name and then use it for like as a record label, because it sounded like a catchy. It's very catchy thing. Exactly. It sounded catchy to me at the time. So that's how that came about. And then Thaga used to be a member of Diamond Chain. Yeah, and he approached us to like, "Yo, I like what you guys are doing. I'd like to join Zone Fam, Slam Dunk Records." Like, cool. I had no problem. Yeah. There was a bit of resistance from the other guys because, you know, he was coming from another group. And then
were you guys sort of rivals a bit? Zone Fam.
Yeah, and
before it was officially formed.
Not really, like rivals with these other groups.
Diamond Chain.
Not really, man. Like we were not rivals at all, man. We actually looked up to what they were doing, you know, because they were doing videos already. They were releasing projects, good quality and all of that. So the whole beef thing came about like really much later. I think this came about somewhere around 2009, 2010. It was very silly, if you ask me. So
you want to go into that? You want to explain how that?
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Since I'm still on the timeline. Still on the timeline. So Thaga joins us from Diamond Chain.
Yeah.
And then Verbal, his parents were obviously here for diplomatic duties.
Yeah.
And he was here in college. He was studying at AIBT. And we met him through 2-1, who are affiliated with So Good Entertainment. Yeah. Chifumbe, Buff, Thug Child. That's how we met Verbal. And he also approached us at some point to be in Zone Fam. I was like, cool, no problem. And he was already friends with the guys. So I was like, okay, cool, man. And Verbal was a battle rapper. That's what we knew him as. You know?
For real?
Yeah, he had the battle rap thing going on and punchlines and all this. You know, he was a very aggressive dude on the mic. So like, hey, man, cool, man. We've got all these different types of rappers in the group. So why not? And then this is around the time when we formed the Hip Hop Foundation of Zambia. I was one of the guys that was spearheading that.
Okay.
So everyone used to meet, man. Like on weekends, would meet at Trendsetters. We would have these shows at the Playhouse. There were rap battles going on. There were performances. So I think this is where all now beef started in Zambian hip hop. It was at the rap battles, you know.
At
so
the
this
Playhouse.
one would at the Playhouse.
Yeah.
So this one would say this, and this one would say this, and hey, people would take stuff personal, man.
Yeah.
So I think that's where now beef started in Zambian hip hop. There was a bit of physical things that
physical.
Yeah,
it got physical sometimes.
It got physical at some point, man. I hear a couple of dudes like scratch the ground or something, man. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, man. Because it's the first time I experienced that, man. Like every time it would be, I won't even lie, man. I would be like, look the other way. Let's bounce. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how that came about. And then, you know, he said this and he said that, and the next thing there's a song, there's a diss song. You know what I mean? So apparently, someone from Zone Fam said something about someone from So Good Entertainment or something, and somehow
on a record or just
like said it in person or something.
Yeah.
And then the next thing there's a song like the Diamond Chain guys had the song where they were dissing like J-Rocks was the main target, but there were shots to everyone else.
It seems like he's always kind of been the main target of these shots over the years.
Exactly. And then there was a shot at me, like I was being body shamed, like really, bro. You know what I mean? Like I've always been this size. You know what I mean? Like so
body shamed.
I always laughed at it, man. And I never ever responded to any of that. Like,
what was the bar though? What was the bar? Do you remember?
Something about. I don't know what, but I was called a fat boss, basically. Yeah, like
a fat boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was the fat boss. That was my label. So yeah. So yeah. That's how that went about. And then at some point, the boys did actually respond. There's a song that they responded, but they never officially put it out. But it was like an underground song. A couple of guys heard it or whatever. And then later on, we met with Crisis, and we talked like man on man.
He didn't try to slap you or anything?
Nah, not even a little bit, man. I've known Crisis for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Just dialogue with people, man. So we talked about it, and he was like, oh, he had no idea that, that's how things, came to be. And he apologized for that, and we also apologized. And from then on, I think a couple of other songs leaked. I think maybe a lot of songs were done in advance or something.
In preparation for
exactly, yeah. Not from us, but like from other camps or whatever. So eventually, it died out, man. Like you go your way, we go our way.
Yeah, and
that's how that sort of got. I mean, there've been other beefs in Zambian Epic, this and that. So. Yeah. eventually, I think now that's when we started building now. Like, we forget about the beef.
Yeah.
Now let's start building Zambian hip-hop. Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
So I met... There was a website called africanhiphop.com where they were doing a mixtape. So these guys submitted some beats, and I came across a couple of beats. So one or two of the beats were by Texzilla, who I also met on MySpace. Like, found his beats, dope producer, and he was producing for Straight Butter from Nigeria, who were quite popular at that time. They were recognized as one of the best hip hop groups in Africa. So I hit up Texzilla. I'm like, yo man, I've got these boys, Zone Fam. Here's the joint we've done. We did we recorded one joint called To Be an African. And I was like, this is what we've done. What do you think? And he's like, wow, you guys are dope, man. I've never heard this type of like lyricism or rapping. I would like to do a full project with you guys. And he sent us like a bunch of beats. So he sent us a bunch of beats, and I had to drag the guys, man, because the guys were still young. They were still trying to figure out this whole rap thing. But I had to like the first Zone Fam mixtape, the full script, Zone Fam and Texzilla, I virtually had to sort of conceptualize everything and go like push the guys. Like, I really had to push them, like, yo, let's record this. It's with this dude from Nigeria. I think it's a good opportunity for us to break out. And my hunch was right. That mixtape, the full script, officially was released, I think, in early 2010. And it turned out to be one of the most downloaded mixtapes in Africa that year. Like, on that particular website anyway, africanhiphop.com. It was recognized.
What were the numbers like for that?
A few thousand, maybe 10,000 or something, 10,000 downloads, which was pretty decent for the time. Yeah. And it sort of started getting the name out. But around that same period, we also did a video for a Zone Fam song called Pop That Body.
I remember that one.
Yeah, exactly. So that's around that, and that was the boys' kind of sound. Like, you wouldn't catch me or Alkanai on that type of a song at that time. So like, okay, cool, no, you guys do it. Paid for the whole video and everything, and it was just like, you know what, we need to just push. We need to seem to be moving as Zambian hip hop. And that blew up, man. Like, people loved that. There were girls in the video, and Rough Kid had a cameo, Rough Kid was like a big hip hop artist at that time. So that really blew up in a way and got the boys noticed. And they just kept on working and recording. And then they also did the Shaka Zulu on them video. And that blew up like huge, like on the internet, on the internet and YouTube. We had people from different countries hitting us up, like, wow, they were amazed. Like, because
that was sort of the time when like Zambia music videos started becoming better.
Exactly, video started improving. Ground Zero was in the mix with everything.
MT as well.
Exactly. So that was kind of cool. And then I think the first time like Zone Fam realized, like, okay, now this is serious. Like, this could actually be real. This could be a career. This could actually happen. Is when this was the major break. Like, when
Shaka Zulu on them came out.
Body, Shaka Zulu. These were like little. Then the big one was when we went to perform on the Big Brother stage in South Africa. 30 million people watching at home. They performed Shaka Zulu on them, and then me and Alkanai came, and then we did Mbama together. That was like, what can I call it? Like a light bulb moment for the guys. It was like they were exposed. There were all these people there. What was that guy's name? I've just forgotten his name. But like, there were people directing the stage thingy, and they were encouraging the boys. They were like, you know what? If you guys perform very well here, you will blow up from here. You know what? You could take over Africa. So do your best. And we had to rehearse. This is the first time we had to rehearse for a performance, and we were nervous because we messed up a couple of the rehearsals. Like, no, don't be nervous. You guys can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ultimately, like the end of the night, everything just turned out
it was a great performance.
Very well. Yeah, exactly. So that's when we realized, like, okay, this could be serious, guys. Now, how are we gonna go about this? Like, in terms of management, in terms of pushing the label, and da. So, man, that's when I just was like, you know what? I'm much older than the rest of these guys, and I had been studying like self-teaching myself how to like market stuff online and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull back and be the manager for the group.
Yeah.
Okay. I will not be on stage with you guys. I will not record anything. I just want to push everything. Okay. And then this is also around the time Alkanai got a job, so he was also too committed to do the music thing full time. Yeah. So he also pulled back from the group and started just concentrating on work. So the boys started doing the group thing full time. Started recording the album. Shaka Zulu on them was huge at the time. Bama blew up, and then J-Rox was also recording some of his solo stuff. And Chikali, there was that Chikali song. Like, oh, that song was huge.
Yeah.
So they did the remix with Zone Fam, and then they did another remix with Peterson, Ozzy, and Slap D. Yeah. I was like 2011 now, and this is the year we released the first Zone Fam album, and that just blew up.
Yeah.
Chikali was a huge song. Like I remember hearing that song everywhere that year. Like, I don't remember hearing it.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's how that all came about then, and that's how the Zone Fam name blew up, and a nomination on 2011. They had a nomination for Best Newcomer on Channel O. So that was huge, and from then on, everyone knows the rest of the history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they went on to win that award.
To win the 2013 Best Group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the history of the group is just so rich. Just listening to all of that is very interesting.
And, there's lots of little things that I've missed out in between. Yeah.
I mean, we could spend the whole day talking about
EPs, the solo EPs they did that equalized.
That mixtape run was very, very important, I feel. Like, it brought out...
There's one Toba series, exactly. It also showed the individualism,
Basically, like, you could see that each of them could perform individually.
Exactly.
And they were just brilliant, all of them, right?
Exactly.
And then now, before Zone Fam was getting to this break where we're in this state where we don't know what's going on, did you see this happening as a guy who is sort of in the background? What was the problem? The
same problem with all groups.
What is the problem with all groups?
I think...
But it's very important. It's very interesting that you say you sort of saw the signs that this was going to happen. So what was there like a moment? Did you see something that showed you?
Not really. Not really. You don't see it. I mean, Zone Fam have been good friends from long time ago, like from even before really the music started blowing up. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you look at their talent, like, and how they're all individuals, I think it was bound to happen that they would all at some point decide to let's go solo and try it out. I mean, if you really look at it, sometimes I think it's too much to have so much talent packed in a group. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I mean, you have J-Rox, huge. Yeah. You have Dope G. Then you have Thaga, who is considered like
he's one of the best
lyricists. Ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've got Verbal, who is just a versatile writer. He used to come up with hooks on the spot and punchlines and all this. So just so much talent in one group. It's equivalent to what? Having too many egos as well. You can't have too many lions in one cage. Do you get it? Yeah. So but like people always ask me this question: is Zone Fam ever gonna get back? Are they ever gonna do something together or whatever? I truly believe they will. It won't be now, but they will get back and they will do something. Yeah. And when they do it, it will be because they want to do something for the fans, and it would probably be timely to do it at that moment. But right now,
do you? For me personally, I would say I would place some of the blame on you then, because you saw this.
Yeah.
You saw the collision
You can blame me.
And
you can, yeah.
What did you do about it?
Did
you sit them down, speak to the guys like, yo, this is... I'm noticing
we had a lot
something
of those.
here.
We had a lot of those. We had a lot of, hey, let's sit down, let's talk. Let's iron. That's one thing I loved about the boys.
The crew.
You know, if there was something wrong, if they had beef with me, they would call me, you know, and they'll sit me down and they would tune me out, and I'll take the tune out, and then would iron things out and say, okay, what's the way forward?
Yeah.
And then would, you know, if any of them had an issue with any one member in the group, we would call a meeting, and they would tune out that member, okay, and
did
then
you think they listened? Out. Like whenever you'd have such meetings,
I think would all listen and would understand, and things would be ironed out. But I guess it really just reached a point where it also became frustrating for Zone Fam. Like you can imagine in 2013 when Zone Fam was at their peak, headlining Lake of Stars, headlining Oktoberfest here. Shooting videos in Kenya, Global Music Award nomination, winning the Channel O Award. This is at their peak, all in 1 year, 2013. But then here they are in Zambia still getting offered 4,000 kwacha, 5,000 kwacha to perform at a show.
As
and
a
then,
crew,
exactly,
together. Wow.
You know, and then you get this money, and then you have to share it 5 ways. Okay. There was a bit of frustrations even from we both. I mean, we not only I'm not only blaming tourist music, so to say, but I'd also blame us because, like, we were getting offers to go and perform even outside the country, you know, but somehow it wouldn't just materialize.
Why?
You know? I don't know if I think tourist music also felt that what we were being offered from out there wasn't enough.
Oh, I see. Oh.
It was quite okay though, you know, because you start from somewhere, you know what I mean? So there's certain things they didn't do on their end, but there's also certain things that we didn't sort of reciprocate with. So that's where that whole tiff came in. But I think in the end we amicably said, you know, you go your way, we'll go our way, and the contract also ran out and it wasn't renewed and all that.
Okay.
So I think I was fine with that. But yeah, it was just frustrating in the end for them, if you get what I'm trying to say. All these big things happening, but nothing also seems to be happening at the same time.
Some people blame J-Rocks.
Okay. For what reason?
For the breakup.
What reason?
Because his individual success was just so huge. And you know, he obviously maybe like from there it's like, you know, you've got your own, they're calling you for your show, you probably can't perform with everybody else.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I wouldn't really blame J-Rocks, man. I mean, if it was meant for him to blow up that way, then it was meant to happen. You know what I mean?
Were some people working
if Zone Fam
because J-Rocks to me seems like he was
J-Rocks is a hard worker. Let's not take it away from him. He's a hard worker, dope producer, dope artist. You know, he's a man on his own.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone did contribute something to Zone Fam. You know what I mean? Like, you can never have one piece missing. Like, they all had to be there. To be complete.
I think that goes without saying, to be honest.
And I mean, let's not get it twisted. If Zone Fam wanted to release something tomorrow as a group, something fresh and new, it would still be well received. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a matter of them,
because they've left the void.
Clicking. Exactly.
I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a matter of them getting together and boom, doing all these things. But then you see, there's life. There's responsibilities. People grew up. Verbo is back in SA, you know, he's got family to take care of. He's grown, you know what I mean? J-Rocks has a family now, you know, he's a family man. He's got 2 kids. Yeah. Dope G's, he's got so many things that he's trying to do as well.
You're also a
trying to
family
do
man
the
as well.
acting. Yeah, trying to do the acting thing as well. Sadly, Saga left the group, but he's still family. You know what I mean? And he's now finally started recording. He's actually got a single that's supposed to come out, and he's got a video. So still family, and I know there'll be success from all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we wish for that for them. Like many of the shows that I'll host or just be there to spectate and all. J-Rox is performing, and then in the crowd you see Dope G,
exactly.
Tim, who is Thugger and stuff, like just being there. Like I remember there was an event recently where the guys were there supporting him.
Exactly.
And it was a bit of an emotional moment.
Yeah.
I won't lie. It was like I wish you guys could just
Can't you be there?
Guys would be on the stage and they get back to old days.
It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. People shouldn't lose hope.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Let them get comfortable in their individual, happenings. Let them build something from there. Let them leave a legacy for their fans, for their family, for their kids. Yeah.
So back in the day, Crisis, we talked about the Officer in Charge album and how massive it was. Like, do you feel like that was the turning point of like hip hop in Zambia? Yeah,
it was definitely a turning point, especially when it came to professionally. Like, you do a full length album, you promote it on radio, you do videos. It was like how can I put it? He was setting like an example for us that we could see, like, oh, this is how it's done. Yeah. And then
why do you think that the album blew up the way it did at that time? Because rapping in English wasn't a thing. Because before then, there were people like Black Muntu who just...
Yeah, those Black Muntu, a bunch of other guys that dropped hip-hop albums.
Yeah.
But I think the reason Crisis seemed different, first of all, there were a lot of Zambian rappers at that time that were rapping in English.
But they never seemed to...
Yeah, exactly.
Catch on.
Yeah. And but then again, I think it's the approach that Crisis used in terms of how he marketed it. He actually, I think, was one of the first people to sort of use these different marketing strategies, so to say. Like pop-up shows that's going to do talks at schools. I remember he did that. In fact, Zone Fam, three of the members that were at school together at Kablonga Boys will tell you that I think it was in their final year or something. Crisis came to their school and they met him.
Okay.
And they were inspired by that, So it was his approach. It was different. Okay. And he had the whole online thing going on. I mean, Crisis' first album was listed on All Hip. There's a popular website called allhiphop.com. That's huge. Yeah, that was huge. Like, wow, Zambian rapper releases album. Then you're reading it. That's huge. That was huge. Yeah.
It's kind of a loss that he's not in Zambia now. Like, he's out there.
Yeah, it's sad that he's not in Zambia right now. I mean, if he was here right now, I think he also left a void, because I think if he was here, things would also be different. We might even be at a higher... Because, you see, it's also competition, He's setting the bar, you guys are getting there, and he's doing that, and you're sort of like pushing each other. So... But, I mean, he's still working. That's the good thing. He's working with some new artists.
Stuff,
he's producing some younger artists now, I see. So... Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get into your project.
Yeah.
Dreaming in High
Definition.
The title itself is very catchy.
Yeah.
We start off on the first song, and it's interesting that one of the issues that you tackle is new rappers messing up the game. Talk about that.
Yeah. New rappers messing up the game, man.
Yeah, you have a bar in there where you say that.
Yeah, I do say something along those lines.
Even because though you do say in the line after that that you're okay with change.
I'm okay with the new sound. Like, I've got no problem with trap. I do wish people would be more inspirational, so to say. Like, I mean, you don't have to be super lyrical.
What do you mean inspirational?
You don't have to be super lyrical. You know what I mean? You don't have to be super lyrical. You don't have to be a wordsmith or anything. But I mean, inspire people out there. People are hurting out there. People are depressed.
Yeah.
You know, so people want to be inspired, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think Future is he's quite inspiring. You know what I mean?
Talks about drugs a lot, though.
He
like
does.
Using drugs.
That's the
downside.
that's the downside of it. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, like the turn up songs, some of them are, you know, they can uplift you, so to say, in a way. But yeah, the drug use thing is really becoming an issue.
Yeah.
Mumble rap is sort of becoming an issue, like where you can't really make out what someone is saying.
Yeah.
And you know, people might think these things are not here in Zambia, but I mean, we do have drug abuse going on in schools, like promethazine and Benylin. I've heard like this goes on in high schools. Like my nephew is in high school and he tells me these things go on. So I really wish that we could move away from that and sort of start inspiring people to do bigger things and stay away from drugs and you know, do stuff like that. But
so when you talk about rappers messing up the game here in Zambia, what are they particularly doing that you're not happy with? Because I don't think we have a lot of mumble rap over here. We don't have too many mumble rap,
though there's a few that are trying to get into that, I can see. But I guess also mediocrity, man. Yeah, like let's try and as much as possible try and push each other to do better quality wise, and less mediocre things that guys tend to do. Yeah.
Okay. And I noticed that on this album you chose to do a lot of the hooks yourself.
I did.
Why was that important for you?
I balanced it. Like half of the hooks were done by other people, and I also did stuff. I was just trying to also explore a different side to myself. You know, the things that when you do hip hop for as long as I've done it, close to 10 years, a little bit over 10 years, people will tend to label you a certain way. Like, oh, Holstar, that guy is hardcore, you know what I mean? Underground hip hop or whatever the one. So I just wanted to also show my versatility.
You don't want to be labeled as an underground rapper.
No, I don't. I don't want to be put in a box, because I think tomorrow I could wake up and I could do something super mainstream. You know what I mean? I could surprise people, and you know, tomorrow I could come up with an R&B album. You know, so yeah. So that
would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be very interesting, man. So I just don't want to be put in that box and to say, oh, that's Holstar, that's his sound, because I do get that sometimes, like, this is different. Was that you? You know what I mean? Like, that's me. You know what I mean? Or, oh, okay, but this is not usual. This is not the you that I know. You know what I mean? But what is the you? The me that you know. You know what I mean? Like, I could do something different. So just trying to. It's been a constant battle of not trying to stay in a box. So I think this is the one album where I've really come out of the box, so to say. And
then on Spirit of a Champion, you do talk about. I think you allude to the fact that you used to drink a lot back in the day.
Like that's a recurring theme on this album, actually. And even some, like in the previous EPs, I've really been. So for me, my music is like therapy. Like I've used it to overcome a lot of things, and drinking is one of them. I think, in fact, I would even go as far as say, as music could have even saved my life, because there's a point where, let's say, I wasn't in employment, you know, so I would be at the studio much more. Like, would spend hours in the studio. If we put together all the hours that I spent in the studio, me and Pope and some of the Zone Fam guys, it could amount to years, man. You know what I mean? So I think that saved my life, because it kept me away from a lot of vices. And I think as the years went by, I drank less and drank less and drank less until I reached a point where I was like,
so did you drink because there was something stressing you out, or it was just you just had too much time on your hands? What was the situation there?
Why did I drink? I mean, I drink to have fun. Like,
do you still drink?
No, I quit.
You don't?
Like, I quit. It's now close to 5 years. So 2013, end of 2013. Was it end of 2012? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. End of 2012. So since the beginning of 2013, sober. And
so was it stress back in the day?
Yeah, a little bit of stress, like in the beginning, a little bit of stress, unemployment. And
how is it that the guys who are not employed drink more than the people that where do you guys get this money?
No, that's the thing. I don't know, man. Like, and you don't even you'd be dead broke, but you have enough money to drink.
You have that's so weird.
I remember those days. So I don't know, man. It's I guess it's that numbing thing that it gives you, that high at the same time, and you forget your problems for a little while. Yeah.
So is that an addiction that?
Yeah, but then again, there's the addictive factor of alcohol. So
so you were addicted to alcohol, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Like I was close to the point of being an alcoholic.
Any other addictions that you've gone to over the years?
Nah, it was pretty much alcohol. It was pretty much alcohol. Yeah.
And on the same record, you also talk about raising your siblings, something like that.
Do you remember the song?
This was "Spirit of a Champion." You mentioned something like that, which is
or raised by my siblings.
Could have been the other way around.
Yeah, could have been the other way around. Yeah, like I do credit my siblings for pushing me. When my parents couldn't manage to take me further with my education, my siblings did chip in. You know what I mean? So I do credit them for that. And also pushing me, into, in the right direction, so to say, and eventually landing a 9-to-5, and sticking to it.
That sounds like a dark time in your life, then. Where,
exactly, yeah. There's been dark periods in life. Like I can't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, you come from a good family, right? But
yeah, come from a good family. It's just that there's ups and downs in this life. There's times when things are good, and times when times are really bad. So I credit my siblings for also steering me in the right direction, and telling me when things were not right and all that, and saving me from some very bad situations. And eventually, man, here I am. I'm on my own now, and still grinding and pushing and trying to be an entrepreneur now. Yeah. Which I wish I did years ago.
Yeah, and we will get to that.
So,
we will get to your entrepreneur.
So, but at least we're here now. Endeavors. Still alive and still pushing.
And then the next two tracks here, Osayesa and Ngao Ngao.
Yeah. Those are like braggadocio hip hop songs, like I'm the man type of songs. Osayesa, produced by Rock Beats. That's your typical I'm the dopest rapper.
Yeah, the don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
type of
I'm hip hop's messy. I'm the best. So that's that. You always have to have that song, that type of song on the album. And then Ngao Ngao I did with Dominant One from Malawi, who I've worked with over the years. I consider him to be one of at least the two best hip hop producers, like real hip hop producers in Africa.
Because that beat is hard.
Yeah, it's a dope beat, man. That's Dominant One, man. So we're planning on doing like a project together to drop next year.
So was this you trying to sort of embrace the new sound?
Yeah, that's definitely me trying definitely me trying to embrace the new sounds. Because there's actually another version of that same beat, and the track was called Urban Disciples with Dominant One, and this kid called Verbway is a Zambian kid based in Namibia, but that was like typical hip hop. And then Dominant One hits me up again. It's like, I've got the same beat, but like a trap version. I'm like, send it through, bro. Yeah. So he sends it through, did the hook, and we went back and forth and had the complete track. And so that's one of the songs where I'm just embracing the new sound, showing some versatility, and talking about who the man is.
You describe what a real man is.
Exactly.
Any particular reason why you would want to
talk about what a real man is?
Yeah.
Nah, just bragging. Bragging, really, and you'd be surprised that some of these songs might stem from a debate online or something, like on Twitter or something. Some of my verses have come because someone said something on Twitter, and I just feed of what people are currently talking about.
Yeah.
So you have a topic of the day. Oh, what's a real man? What's a Zambian man? Or they'll make this comment about Zambian men. I'm like, hey, you know. So that's how some of these songs start up. So,
and as I was listening to the song,
yeah.
I was thinking J-Rox would have been a great feature on that.
Yeah, in fact, I played that song. I played that song for J-Rox at the studio before it dropped, and he's like, "Wow, this is dope." And then he played me as he did the same type of song. He did a Ngao Ngao song.
Oh,
as
for
well.
real?
And he's like, boss, I'm not even gonna drop mine now. And it's like, he actually wanted to give me the beat for that one. Thinking I'll do another joint on it. So I might work on something with him soon as well.
Oh, so when is he the person you go to when you wanna?
Sometimes, yeah, like
bounce ideas
off. I do that with all the guys. Like when I work, like I've realized over the years, like you might be comfortable with your own stuff, but it's good to. That's what friends and groups are for. Sometimes, like quality control for each other. So have your stuff endorsed by your friends first before you put it out. Yeah, they might tell you, dude, this is whack. So and if it's whack,
are they the ones who are just straight up with you when it comes to whatever you put out?
Though most of the time, to be honest, Zone Fam will tell me dope. You know what I mean? But I do have like apart from Zone Fam, there's other producers like Purple Haze, Kati, who I've worked with for a very long time. They'll tell me if it's whack or not.
Okay,
and all this. Yeah.
Then Mama, I Love You.
Mama, I Love You. Like I had to do a joint for my mom.
Yeah.
Because that's my mom, man. She raised me. She's like my best friend. She'll tell me if that's whack. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And she gives me the best advice, man. Like what are moms for, man? Like they'll tell you if this is right and this is wrong and all that. So and I was telling my friends like, I've done so many love songs for girls who I'm not even with right now. But I've never done a song for my mom.
For your mom,
dude, I'm doing a song for my mom.
That's dope.
I played it for her the other day and she liked it.
Oh, I was about to ask. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she actually heard it. She was like, oh, thank you.
Okay.
So I'm actually... Because my mom is still she's still a CD person. Like she has a CD player in a car, so I'm still waiting for the hard copies to come in.
Okay.
So I can present her with her own copy and she can listen to it nicely every day.
Now, who's the woman singing towards the end of the song? Is that a sample or something?
Okay, so that the beat was produced by a guy called Lim from So Good. So I think it's an artist that he worked with. I just never got the full name of her yet, but I believe it's someone that is worked with locally. There's a possibility though that it might be a sample too.
Okay.
So
the reason I bring that up,
I'll verify that.
The reason I bring that up is because I feel like you could have gotten somebody else to do that hook for you, man.
Or the hook itself,
especially like when I was hearing that singing to us, because it just adds like a different element to the song.
I know what you mean. I did flirt with the idea of having someone else do the hook for the Mama song, but then again, I thought it's for my mom, and it's personal. You know, it's like a personal song. So yeah, I know it could have sounded 1,000 times better with someone else, but just that
it just had to be you.
It just had to be me to do it. Like no matter how off-key it sounded, but yeah,
that's not off-key.
Yeah, but you see.
It's just just the female touch.
Exactly,
especially because
look, I could have had like a female doing like a background thing or something. Yeah, but who knows, man? There's still time, like a remix or something.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
We
could pimp it up, man. I actually, what?
It's still a good song.
Like I'll tell you something. I actually tried to call Wezi though.
Oh, shoot!
But I couldn't. I should have been perfect on this song, man. But I couldn't. I couldn't get through to her for that joint. But hey, who knows? I'll still find her.
How?
She's on speed dial.
Because she was on. She seems to have been in a sunken place in recent times. I think a friend of hers must have passed.
She did lose, so maybe that could be it, man. Because it's actually recently I tried to get in touch with her. So that's a possibility.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. But I know she has worked with like Alkanai. On Alkanai's album that's coming soon, and
sounds good.
Fire.
Okay.
Alkanai, Dope G, and Wezi on one joint. Sounds really dope.
Okay. Then the next song, Nipe Mpako, right?
Nipe Mpako.
this doesn't sound like your story, because on an earlier record you say you were born in UTH, and then this says born in Chipata
compound. Yeah, that is not which some people did confuse for my story. Like on my Facebook page, like because I released that as a single last year, and some people were like, "Oh, this is your story, amazing!" I'm like, "Dude, this is not my story." So this is me talking about from a perspective of someone who has lost both their parents. One parent to being a cop, like their dad was a policeman, probably got killed in the line of duty, and their mom died from maybe HIV/AIDS. Because I actually worked at an NGO once in Chazanga compound called Wafwano, and I came across so many stories of double orphans. Like there's thousands of double orphans in this country, mostly due to HIV and AIDS. And I was inspired to do a song like this for a very long time. So when this beat came along, this beat is actually years old as well. This beat is more than, could be like close to 8 years old. It was produced by Pope. So I had the concept for the hook, and Jane Jonazi, amazing singer, came and did it, and then did the verses. And it's not my story, man. I'm just trying to sort of bring light, shed light on this plight of people that we have in Zambia, that are orphans, that need help, basically, you know, like lend them a hand when you can. Some of them are people that actually run households on their own, child-headed homes. Yeah. So, you know, if you can ever help a hand to such a person, please do. That's basically what I was trying to say in this song. So I was trying to just shed a light on the story, and then...
Yeah, I do love the hook on the song.
Yeah,
it's very, very well done.
Dope hook. Like that lady is talented. Yeah, Jonazi.
Yeah,
she's crazy.
And then we have the interlude, the Bad Friend interlude. And
Bad Friend.
When it started, it sounded like you were talking to someone specific, because you were asking certain questions. Did you have someone in mind when you were recording that?
Yeah, I had not one person, but like 3 people in mind, who I won't really mention right now. Okay. But friends, basically some friends that I haven't been in touch with for a while, and sort of trying to wonder
where they are
right now. So if they pick up my CD, maybe they'll hit me up.
Do you think they'll know that you're talking to them when they hear the song?
Yeah, they might definitely pick on something there. Yeah, definitely. So that beat, actually, it's a dope beat, eh? Should have actually been a song, and it might actually eventually turn out to be a song. But I felt like I just needed to. I was like venting on that song, so to say. I wanted to vent and put that out there, and sort of reach out to. I mean, I could pick up a phone and call those friends. Yeah,
but you don't, because.
You'd rather pick up a mic. I do actually speak to some of the people that I was talking to on that interlude. Yeah. But I feel like with the song, it might strike another nerve. You know what I mean? It might get them to open up a bit more than what can be done in a phone call sometimes. Sometimes music just reaches people in different ways. So yeah.
I mean,
just wanted to put that out there.
It is some real shit, because these days,
and also it relates to other people.
Yeah,
like
towards the end, that's when it sort of
got really.
It gets general now. Like everyone else can be part of this story. Yeah, because technology, social media, it's
WhatsApp, and
it's sort of like you feel like confusing. Just because you have someone on your friends list on Facebook, it's like
to be honest, like social media has actually put us further apart from friendships and relationships. So I feel like we need to find another approach. Like we should all have social media breaks for a week, and then that week is the week we actually link up with our friends and speak. And
do you do that?
Switch off the phones. I do that once in a while. I could do that more often. Like of late, I've been doing that much more. Like go on a date, go on with your friends, just go to a lodge somewhere and have a drink or view some animals. Like it's something different, man. Like just technology is something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have Cold World.
Cold World, yeah. So Cold World, is that after Nipe and Paco?
This is after, actually it's Love Boat before Cold World.
Love Boat, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Love Boat is Love Boat. It's I was in a relationship at the time. So this was me.
You messed it up, didn't you?
Very nice. Did I mess it up?
Be honest, man.
Nah, I didn't mess it up, man. It just didn't work out.
That's what everyone says, man.
It just didn't work out. Like, I guess she had some expectations, and so did I. And it didn't mesh.
She expected you to marry her as soon as possible, and you didn't do it.
Not really.
She didn't expect you to marry her.
At my age, there is always an expectation of marriage. So,
and that's not something you were.
No, I'm cool. I mean, if someone is cool, I'm cool with someone. I I've known them for a little while and all that. Not too long. I mean, I'm cool with marriage, man. Yeah.
But what happened?
It just didn't work out, bro. It just didn't work out. Like, but we're still friends. You know what I mean? So that's how Love Boat came about.
Okay.
And then Cold World is.
Wait, before we get to Cold World, so when you listen to Love Boat,
okay.
Does it bring back memories?
Yeah.
It must have been.
It does bring back memories.
I think you have to be in a certain space for you to make a song for the person that you're dating.
That you're
This is sort of like a tattoo.
Yeah.
When did this? Did this end after you released the album or before?
Yeah, it ended before.
So why did you keep the song on the album?
Man, that's what I was like. I was telling you earlier. Music is like my therapy. You know, like. Not only overcoming alcohol addiction, but music will help you get over heartbreak. You know what I mean?
I see.
And that's how the next song came in, Cold World.
Cold World, yeah.
That's like therapy right there.
Yeah.
But like in a fun way as well, because the beat is like.
True.
Yeah, exactly. So, Cold World is actually like a response to Love Boat. It's like a continue. Like you could actually call it Love Boat Part 2.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a connection between those two records.
That's why they even like flow in that sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like love, and then it gets a bit dark, and then you sort of address everything.
Exactly.
And then Blessings is that also another
Blessings
extension of that?
Blessings is just me now talking to people about appreciating what they have in their life. You know, like people, friends, children, appreciating every moment. Basically, and that's why I even had Dope G on the joint. It made perfect sense because Dope G had an album and a song called Flowers. Where you appreciate people while they're there, give them the flowers while they're alive, not when they're dead. So Blessings is like my flowers type of song. And that's one of the people's favorite songs from the album. Blessings, Cold World, Ngao Ngao. Those are some of the favorites that I'm picking on. So yeah, Blessings kind of dope. Like Reverb really went in with that one. Like the beat is
Reverb also worked on the first record on the album.
Yeah, first
Dreaming
record,
in High Definition.
The DIHD. He touched up Love Boat. Love Boat was produced by Lim, but Reverb did like some extra production on it. Cold World, that's Reverb as well. Blessings, yeah.
What's it like working with Reverb? Because when you meet him, he's a very you sort of have his demeanor too, very chilled out.
Exactly, yeah.
So when two chilled out people come together,
let me tell you something about Reverb, man. This album of mine was actually like halfway done, and at some point I got stuck a couple of months ago. Like I got stuck with this album, like I couldn't work anymore because I felt like I was sort of been like in a mundane space, and then I also felt like create like there was no creativity, basically. So I'm like, hey man, I've been trying to visit this Reverb guy. Let me pay him a visit, and I paid him a visit. Played me some beats. I actually took him some tracks that were done and see if he could redo them. Like the Blessings joint was actually there's a previous version of that, and he redid it. So for me, Reverb, one, he's one of the best producers we've got in the country. 2, he's easy to work with. 3, he's a quick worker. He works fast. You take him something today, a week later you go back, it's done. You transact and that's the end. You know what I mean? He's also not difficult to work with. So if there's something that I'm not happy with, like, oh, can you touch this up a little bit? You can get back to him, holler at him, and he'll fix it, and you're done. You know, so he's a perfectionist in that way, and that's what I admire about him. And just to add to everything else, he's also innovative, man. Like, not only some of the trap beats that he makes for people or whatever, but there's a new sound that he's created, which could be like a different Zambian sound. Like, you know how this guy from the Copper Belt, what's this guy's name? Guy who produces for Makitu and Shefi. He produced Complicated for Shefi.
Tony Breezy?
No, not Tony Breezy.
Complicated.
Okay, we'll remember the name as we're going on. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I haven't remembered my friend's name. But it's that new sound, like how that dude came up with the Kopala sound. Cream Dollar. Cream Dollar. You know, Cream Dollar came up with that Kopala sound. You know, this is Kopala. You know what I mean? This is a Zambian authentic sound. So Reverb has something like that he's been doing as well. There's that song there's a song on Shefi's album. I just don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Which one?
Something it's a song with a complicated way. How do you pronounce it? But Reverb produced it. And that's the type of sound that is coming up with, that's sort of new and fresh, and I think you could something that you could call Zambian. You know, like, you know how Zambians always complaining, is there a sound that we can call our own? Nigeria, SA, that. These guys are actually creating something that you could call our own. You know, Cream Dollar, Reverb. I like what they're doing.
Do you feel like Reverb is the reason?
So yeah, basically he helped me complete the album.
Okay.
He helped me finish this album. Like, it was halfway done, and then Reverb came on board, helped me finish songs that were already done, added some of his production. A few weeks later, my album was like, okay,
it's sounding
getting
good.
down now. It's sounding balanced. Yeah.
I was about to say, Reverb. Do you feel like he's sort of overshadowed Shomsi in a bit? Because Shomsi was the guy.
Oh yeah, no, Shomsi
at some point was
exactly like Shomsi had his run, like a very good run, like, you know, Shomsi like just murdered everything. And Shomsi, like, let's not get it twisted, Shomsi is a dope producer still. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's just been quiet of late, and I would like to see Shomsi back doing a lot of stuff, and I see it coming. You know, I think he also just started concentrating like on family life, and was trying to sort out a few other things. So I'm hearing he's back.
Okay.
I'm hearing he's back, so we'll definitely hear Shomsi soon. But yeah, Reverb has had a very good run of late, and man, I told you all the factors, man. Fast working, easy to work with.
Yeah, work ethic, basically.
Work ethic, yeah.
So
that's
David,
cool guy.
David Copperfield, what are we talking about?
David Copperfield, that song is the most lyrical song on the album. Like, I've had albums full of David Copperfield type of songs. But David Copperfield is definitely a standout song on this album. Very lyrical song. What I did on this song, it's one of, like, I've done a lot of, most of the songs in this album were straightforward. Okay, like, you know what I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about, or something like that. But with David Copperfield, it's an abstract song. And this like, when I played this for someone, or a certain DJ, I won't tell you his name right now, but when he heard it, like, this is Holstar. You know what I mean? This is the Holstar that I know. And he was right, because I've done a lot of songs like that over the years. It's pretty abstract, but basically what I'm talking about is, I was sort of parallel the life of a typical Zambian from back in the day, from colonial days to now, and the life of a rapper, an upcoming rapper, you know, who's been in the game, like, so sort of loosely based on my life.
Okay.
You know how authors write these stories that are loosely based on their life and their friends. You know, so this is that type of song. It's like an author type of approach to a song.
So David Copperfield, like the magician, is that where this came from?
No,
because
actually very far from the magician. So basically with David Copperfield, this would be the name of the character in the song.
So it has nothing to do with the
nothing to do with the magician, though there might be some, like if I listen to it, maybe I threw in a metaphor or two about that, but I don't think I really even did. But David Copperfield for me is a Zambian who has been sort of the colonized mind, basically, okay, of someone who's come from this African traditional background. Like, what was a Zambian before we were colonized? Yeah, basically. Yeah, and where are we now? We're sort of in a position where our mind is what is now trapped. Our mind is what is colonized. Yeah, mental and the Copperfield name comes from our copper, you know, that has been mined from the ground, that we don't even have control over anymore. And if you listen to the song, like somewhere there I threw in, you know, we had freedom fighters like Simon Kapwepwe, Mama Chika Monica, like those were freedom fighters. Like, where has that gone? You know, where has that will to, you know, want to be free on our own and independent, so to say, where has that gone? And yeah, man, I parallel it with, you know, I talk about some social media stuff in there, like how we've been taken over by YouTube and Vine and Facebook and WhatsApp and all this, you know what I mean? And how that has also contributed to being even further trapped. So you need to, like, I'm gonna put up the lyrics soon. I haven't put up the full lyrics, so I think maybe if someone could read it with the lyrics, you'd get deeper into the song. Okay, it's a very abstract song. Very interesting that
you know, I really thought it was
the magician.
To the magician.
Yeah, no, you need to listen to the song again and then look at it from the perspective of where I'm talking about. It'll make sense.
I think it'll be much. It'll be a different listen. Exactly. Yeah. This time around, music is my passion.
The last song on the album.
Why close off? I feel like this could have opened the album.
It almost did, actually. But I also wanted a strong closing. I feel like, because one, the beat is just monstrous. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, that's Chomsi right there. And then the vocalist on the song, she's also an amazing vocalist, upcoming, but really, like, this girl is the future. Her name is J10. She's very young. She's like 20 or 21, but powerful vocals. So she's on the hook. And then, so basically in the song, it's like a ngao ngao. It's sort of like an osayesa, but at the same time, I'm just sort of, you know, trying to remember Zambian hip-hop from way back, from where it's come from. I mentioned the name of some DJs that were instrumental in my career and other people's careers, and how they helped grow, like Fanatic and J-Man and DJ Scratch and DJ Drakes and all these guys, you know, how they really helped push. And then I even talk about Diamond Chain in the song, like how those guys really, you know, like, they brought competition, you know what I mean? And then I also talk about how people always ask me about Ways Zone Fam, you know, and stuff like that. And just ultimately saying, I've come to a point in my music career where, trying to wrap up, you know, and trying to move on to doing different things, but music is still something that I'm very passionate about, basically,
Okay. So it's quite a solid body of work, project, I should say. A lot of substance on it, which is not what you hear in a lot of albums. You know, people put out. It's sort of just like, you know,
put it out there.
Just random. You know, things, put them together, and that's it. But then, you know, you've put it together. And
like, I mean, albums, to be honest, like albums like the one I've done is not something you typically hear these days, because and I mean, I don't blame people. How do I say this without seeming like I'm dissing people? We've got low concentration these days. Like, people really don't want to listen to too many lyrics, and that's why even the album,
that's a problem.
They don't want to listen to too
just
much.
In hip hop,
like, they don't want it to be too. They don't want it to be too hectic, and they don't want it to be too preachy. So I actually, to be honest with you, I dumbed down on this.
You feel so?
I feel like at least half of this album is dumbed down. I could have been more intricate with things on this album, but I really tried to dumb it down so that it would also bring in a new audience, so to say. Not a dumb audience, okay, but just the new listener, so to say. That's why there's different beats. I worked with different artists and stuff like that. But I also said I need to still keep my core audience happy, like people that would regularly listen to Holstar. So that's why there's joints like Mipian Park or joints like David Copperfield. I feel those still satisfy the core audience. But then there's joints like Cold World, Blessings, Ngao Ngao. I think those can also, you know, other people could listen to them. So there's something for everyone, basically, on the album. You know?
I mean, it definitely feels like a culmination of everything that you've been going through over the years, and it's sort of just put together in one piece
so it's
of
like
work.
a full circle type of album. So that's pretty much it. It's online right now. It's available on iTunes, available on Spotify, and people can stream it on SoundCloud and YouTube and Audio Mac and everything online. It's there.
It'd be nice to see you perform. Do you have anything like that?
So performances wise, I'm just looking forward to, hopefully these Hip Hop Connection guys will be having a show soon at Club Z. So
what happened to that? Do they still do that stuff on Thursdays?
Like it's been
quiet for a while now.
It's like been on and off. So I'll get in touch with them and see what's happening, and if they're having something soon, I'll definitely perform there. Another thing is that because I've been quiet for a while, like this is my first full-length album in a long time. Like my last full-length official album, like solo, was 2009. Okay,
that's yours.
And then I've been doing EPs here and there. I've been doing joint collaborations. So I'm also not trying to rush and, you know, make it seem like I'm sort of superstar or anything. I'm trying to build my momentum. Okay, so from here, like the album is online. I'll be receiving some hard copies soon. I couldn't do them locally, unfortunately. I couldn't find someone that could do the CDs that I wanted to get done. You know. So so I'm waiting for CD hard copies to come, which to be honest, CDs these days are just promo tools. So I will sell them through Time Machine and there's these companies like Wingu Express that are coming up that do deliveries to people. So I'm trying to partner with Wingu, if they're listening to this, to help me, you know, deliver CDs to people that would order. And then videos, you know, like now, like I don't like giving myself pressure. Like you know, you drop a song with a video, and then now you're rushing to drop the album. Like I think sometimes when we give ourselves release dates, we put too much pressure on ourselves. So now my album is out. Now I can relax, and then at some point I'll ask people that have heard the album, like, so which song do you think would make a dope video? Okay. People will vote on it or whatever, and then we'll pick. Guys are doing brilliant videos now. You've got DJ Low, who I think has killed it this year.
Oh yeah, he's
so I'm definitely working with DJ Low on something soon. But I also work with 2 other production houses. I want to do at least 3 videos from this particular album, and I've been inspired to go on, man. And remember I told you there's an R&B. I might do an R&B.
I thought album? You just mentioned that in passing. Is that an actual thing that you want to do?
There's an R&B project in the works. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Me and this guy called Purple Haze. It's going to be an EP though. It won't be an album.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to perfect it and it'll be something different.
So you're taking like vocal lessons and stuff like that? No?
Vocal listening myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because R&B is always something, like, remember I told you there was a time like I was really into R&B. So it's something that I've always thought that, like, even I could make a good vocal coach for some people. So I'm taking that approach with myself now, like just perfecting it and trying to get these songs done. So it's gonna be an EP of maybe about 4 tracks or so.
And what do you think your core fan
Purple
base is gonna? How do you think they'll receive this news of you?
Some
being
will be like, dude, what's happening? Like, you're going R&B now? But you know what, man? Life is too short not to experiment. We need to experiment and do something else. Maybe that might be what I was meant to do. Who knows, you know?
Might be.
So I'm just trying.
I mean, I'm not going to knock
right
it until I hear something.
Yeah,
so.
you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to do different things right now, man. Like dibble dabble in R&B. Me and Dominant One be working on a project as well together. I think, yeah. So him and I are your typical hip hop dudes, but I think we might have like a new sound on this one.
Okay.
Same lyrical intensity, but new sound that I think the younger generation could appreciate as well. I'm also working with Texilla again.
Okay.
Texilla, producer from Nigeria. He sent me like 2 beats so far, and I think we're gonna do an EP as well together.
So the music just continues.
Just continues, man. So me and Purple Haze, me and Dominant One, me and Texilla, and me and Pope, the dude that I first worked with,
back in 2004.
Back from 2004, we've got beats from like 2009 that are still there, and I think would make like a good prequel project, like a throwback type of project. Like this feels old but new, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we might work on something as well, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like really heavily invested in music, but
I am pretty much.
Also, and then that also reflects in your other endeavors like Time Machine, where you have vinyls that you sell and other items as well.
Figurines and.
Why was it important for you to start that back in 2016?
Okay, yeah. So when I started Time Machine, it was another light bulb moment. I had been surfing the internet and then came across like a bundle of comic books, and it was sort of nostalgic, and you know, I was like, oh, comic books, because I loved comic books when I was a kid. Like my friends used to diss me for liking Archie comic books and Asterix and Obelix, Asterix and Obelix, and Dennis the Menace and Gnasher. I was into that, man. And yeah, at some point I was like, okay, I'm too grown for this. And then 2016, in fact, it was end of 2015 when I found them. I was like, wow, I think this is something people might still want to get into, you know, like, do you really ever grow out of these things? When you grow up, you take an approach of, I'm now collecting. There's like a whole sort of business behind these things, you know, especially like the collecting business. So comic books I ordered, tried to sell them to a few friends. They jumped on it. They loved it. Also led me to discover that there's a whole industry in Zambia for comic books, illustrators. There's our Comic-Con, you know. So, and then I came across vinyl, and that's another market that I discovered is something that's growing. Vinyls are coming back. Collectors are really into Zambian stuff, you know. So I've been digging, man. I've been going across the country, literally, looking for people with vinyl. And yeah, I've been finding a bunch of vinyl, and I've got customers. I now collect myself as well, so I collect, and some of the stuff I've got customers locally and even outside the country. I found some people that are interested in vinyl. So hey, man, if you got some vinyl at home, man, it's a business sitting right there. Like the more the merrier. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Let's make this culture grow of memorabilia and collectibles. I think a lot of people look at some stuff that they keep at home and look at it as trash, and that's garbage. Throw it away. Yeah, man, you're throwing away money. Yeah, you know, you see these programs like on BBC and stuff like that, where people have memorabilia from World War II and coins that are worth something. Right here in Zambia, man, we're better. We've probably got stuff that's worth thousands. Like, what's the most that you've what item have you sold that was like really expensive? A vinyl. It was definitely a vinyl. What vinyl was it? Do you remember? I think I've sold The Witch. The Witch, the Zambian band, the Zambian band, popular Zambian rock band. Yeah. I've sold a Witch record for at least. I sold it for £300. How much is that?
That's whoa. What is the exchange rate?
13.
Yeah. Okay, that's about 3 something then.
Yeah,
right?
about almost 4,000 kwacha.
Yeah, almost 4,000 kwacha.
So
okay.
Yeah, people are
That's a lot of money.
appreciating Zambian music out there, like the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine like years from now, Zone Fam or Slab D or Makitu, their music could actually be worth something. So I think this is also where we need to add value to our music. Like I like what guys are doing with the whole paper download thing, but I think it's also important not to move away from the CDs, because that's a hard copy. That's something someone can hold
can keep,
and collect. So people should look at even releasing some of their old stuff in a hard copy format. Who knows? Maybe even vinyl should come back, and people should press their music on vinyl, because vinyl lasts for a very long time. I've got records that are 50 years old and are still in very good condition. A lot of CDs, to be honest, don't last that long. They get scratched and that's the end. But with vinyl, you can restore them and clean them up, and it'll play just like new. And the quality on vinyl is unmatched. Yeah, it was just expensive to make vinyl at some point. That's why they stopped making them. But it's coming back. They've got machines now that can press them for much cheaper.
So this per download thing that's come about, I know some of the dynamics are a bit weird, because I hear like people outside the country are not able to get the music because they're not using the network that we have over here.
Exactly, yeah. So for the AfriTunes guys, I think it's just for the Zambian mobile network users at the moment. Vesisani, I think is okay because someone can use their debit card. So that's fine. So I guess
doesn't that sort of kill Vesisani's business then? Because how much is a single on their website? It's like what, $7?
That's a question from Vesisani to answer.
I need to have them.
You should actually. You should, yeah.
I was looking at it and I'm like, Vesisani might just run out of business.
Yeah. So you need to ask them. You need to ask.
Get you staying away from this topic. Like.
You need to ask them.
But you know what? I think what will be really interesting is to see the original Zone Fam. Because like when I remember I listened to the full script mixtape, like not very recent, but maybe like early this year. I because it's still available for download. You can still get it, and it's just an amazing piece of work.
Exactly.
And it would be nice to see that happen.
To see that,
like not just
dope.
J-Rocks, Dope G, Daga Verbal,
everyone.
but you
Alkanai,
and Alkanai back into that mix.
It's doable, man. It's just finding time because guys are so busy these days. But man, I could do it. Like, I've got no problems with any of them, man. I go to J-Rocks, get a verse here. In fact, this is how I did it back in the days. Like, go to J-Rocks, record some verses from there, go to my place, record whoever didn't make it on the other song, and put it all together. You know what I mean? So it could be done actually. Like if people just want a project with like Zone Fam, original Zone Fam setup, it's doable.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been nice to listen to all these stories.
And there's much. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today.
No doubt.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have you soon when you drop that R&B. What is that, EP? Or is it an album?
EP. It will be an EP. The R&B thing will be an EP, like 4 tracks max. Yeah.
All right.
I might even go by another name, not Holstar, because it's R&B, man. So they need to differentiate between Holstar, the rapper, and whoever this other guy is going to be. So I'm going through that Prince phase. Where was that? The artist
formerly
known as Prince, the symbol.
The symbol.
Yeah, that's the phase I'm going into now.
That'd be interesting to see.
This is my Prince phase.
All right. So Raw Conversations with Chromez.
Yeah,
talking to Holstar.
Peace, man.